Hi everyone, so this is my first attempt at filming at the studio. It's a really lovely sunny day out there this afternoon, but it just means everything's really bleached out in the background. But so far everything in front of me seems good. You can see me, which is brilliant. Right, so we're going to be drawing a portrait. We're doing watercolour portraits in class this week, and the idea is I'm going to do a little video so that hopefully you can have a go at drawing it before we get to class, so that we've got the full 2 hours just to have fun with the paint. Again, if you want to trace it, completely up to you, but if you want to have a go at drawing it, it's fun and it improves your drawing skills as well. It's always good, a bit of good practice. I've chosen this image. So this was an image that I got from Pixabay. I do love Pixabay, free copyright images. Sometimes they ask you to credit the photographer. They didn't on this one. I couldn't seem to find a name, unfortunately. But it was a landscape image. I've cropped it just to make it a better composition for when we get painting. Roughly, the rule of thirds, it's the third, it's going to go through her eyes here, but it's a really lovely composition to frame her face. The other reason I chose this one, and when you are choosing images, just be careful. You want a really lovely contrast with the light and the dark, and this one shows that really well. And it's reversing my finger. This is crazy. Sorry. So what we've got this lovely highlight running down the side of her face, and then we've got this really lovely block of dark at the back there. So that's going to work really well as a painting. So a lot of fashion models, fashion photography can bleach out the whole face, so there's no real shadow or light on it because it's a flat lighting. But when you are painting, drawing, sketching, you want that contrast because it's going to be, one, easier to draw and to make a nicer picture as well. So that's why I've chosen it. I will in a sec. I've done a few videos of me sat behind where I break down the image into the proportions. Also, I did a quick warm-up sketch in my sketchbook. Always recommend doing that before you draw in anything. Have a go at painting something. From there, because it's all part of your muscle memory to help recognise where things are, and then help your brain remember that for when you come on to do it for a nice one. And this was the drawing that I did. I've used watercolour paper. I do love sketches on watercolour paper. I think I'm going to leave it there. It looks a little bit like Scarlett Johansson, but I'm really pleased with that. So I'm going to leave it there, ready to start painting, and hopefully in class for your yeah. So have a go. Hopefully you get on okay. Any queries, questions, just let me know and I'll get back to you. So enjoy. Hopefully it's not too hard. I didn't find this one too hard personally, but let's give it a go and see how we get on.
I've just put a few markers on her face here. So as you know, I like to divide the face into 3 sections, from the top of the forehead to the eyebrow line to the bottom of the nose, and the bottom of the nose to the bottom of the chin. And they're roughly, as a rough guide, they're 3 equal sections, and everybody is different. I know on my face, I've got a long face, and the bottom section of my face is longer than all the others. It doesn't matter too much if you're just doing a portrait for fun, but if you want to get a real likeness, you need to look at those measurements to see what section is the shortest or the longest, and then you're really going to get a likeness. Today, we're not worrying about a likeness today. We're just going to have fun with the paint.
Right, hi everyone. Here's my image that I've printed out. I've printed it out onto A4 size piece of paper, and at the side here, this is the size of paper that I'm working on. I'll go through paper in a sec with you, but A4 paper, I love this A4 paper, but sometimes it's just that little bit too small. And if I put this over the top, I'll show you the size difference. This is, I don't know, you can see that it's about a centimetre to 2 centimetres, so about half an inch, 3/4 of an inch larger than A4, and it just gives that bit more room around the edge. So it's a really nice size to work from. This is the, and I won't be able to pronounce it, Hanumale,
homely. Anyway, the German watercolour paper, and it's a really nice paper to work from. I use it a lot. So this is my image. But the point is, it's a similar size. So loads of artists have used this throughout history. John Singer Sargent, one of my favourites, would often, whatever size he was working on, the subject matter would be the similar size so that you can size it across really easily. So it's almost like a 1-to-1 ratio. And if you wanted to get a perfect likeness, it's brilliant for that as well, because you can do exact measurements and just bring them across and mark them out. But I just wanted to do a couple of bits showing you breaking down the face. So I've just got some tracing paper at the side here. I'm laying it over the top. I'm hoping you can see that on camera, but if I go for it, hopefully it will show up. So basically, I'm just going to do the oval. This is quite a good way to start sketching anyway. So I've got the hair coming down the neck. So we've got the oval of the head, but just to reiterate, so we've got the top of the head to the eyebrow line, to the nose, to the bottom of the chin, and they are roughly 3 equal, gosh, she's perfect, 3 equal spaces. And then this top section is meant to be the half section for the top of the hair, but hers is coming up a little bit higher. She's got a nice volume to her hair. But when you first start sketching, it's quite nice to do this oval and break down these little marks, even if you just do it as tiny little dots to help you. And then from there, we've got the oval, and then the face from the side profile is going to follow these contours. So we've got, this is the line of the nose for the mouth, coming along the side, the line of the eyes, and likewise the nose is going to go down, and the mouth. So it's just showing you the curves. When the face is front on, everything's on these straight lines, and you can line them up to different things, like the edge of the nose to the pupil. But when it's on the side, you've got to stick to these curves. If you try and make it flat and stick to the flat lines, it's going to look really strange. So it's quite nice. If I take this away, put the side there. It's reminding me of the girl with the pearl earring. But we've got a really nice marker now to work from. So I know I've traced this, but I will be doing it on the paper in a minute. But from here, we can, here's your eyes. So I know the eye goes in, sticks out the eyebrow, comes round, high cheekbone, coming down for the chin, coming to the side for the jawline and up. So immediately we're getting this really nice shaping coming through. So this is quite good to do lots of these practices in your sketchbook before we start drawing. And I know I've cheated a bit by just drawing that outline, but this is quite a nice thing to have at the side to help guide me when I'm drawing as well. And this is all part of the muscle memory. So these are all your warm-up drawings and sketches to get you going for your final one as well. So I've just got my sketchbook. I'm going to do a warm-up drawing again, just to get my arm warmed up and start using the muscle memory. I'm working flat just because of the video, but if you're at home, I would recommend anything with proportion, work upright. If you've got an easel, hold it up, even work in front of you. I often have it on my lap, sat there drawing, because when it's flat, and it might happen today, when it's flat, it throws the perspective and the proportion, and things can elongate as they come up. And then as you hold it up, you'll see where you've gone wrong. So don't do what I'm doing, don't work flat, work upright, but I've just got it flat just so that you can see it in the video, hopefully. So first thing I always do, I'm using quite a heavy chunky pencil. I wouldn't usually use this, I'm only using it so that it's going to show up in the video.
This, I do love these pencils though. It's the Lyra water soluble 6B pencil. But usually I've got, I'll show you, it's between these two that I love at the moment. I've got a Derwent sketching pencil. It's water soluble, but I like the lighter wash. This is just a HB, and it's not as heavy. I find the heavier ones a bit too dark for my work, and lots of areas go grey instantly. So that's a good one because the lines will disappear into the watercolour. And then if I want to be really precise or go really light, I'm loving my mechanical pencil, and this is a 0.5mm. This is Pentel, but I've had this for years. I do love a drawing pencil to get really fine details. It's brilliant for eyes and tiny details around the eyes and even eyebrows. Anything that you want really precise precision on. But so for today, I've just got my chunky pencil. Oh, make myself comfy. And similar to how I did before, I always start off with the oval of the head. And again, holding the pencil quite far back. You don't want to be really tight. You want to be nice and loose with that. So just coming up. And again, with this, because we're just sketching in our sketchbooks, doesn't matter if we make any mistakes. Let's bring the neck in. And that's the back, which is all in this lovely shadow. And a good thing to look out for when you're drawing are the negative spaces. And I'm always saying this. So this is a really good indication. If you're not quite sure where the neck is and the shoulder, look at this space. There's a really lovely shape there. So that is this area here. So I'm not going to go too precise on that chin just yet, but it's looking like that kind of a, if I shade that in. So we've got that nice shape coming through. Come up. I'm not going to put too much detail in at the moment because that's a big mistake. Trying to put in lots of detail in one space and then realise it's in the wrong area. So just keep it really loose. There we go. And then likewise to position the nose and everything. So I'm going to do that front curve. Just remember everything is on these curves. So that's going to be where the nose sits. This is for the line of the eyes. Got the line of the nose and the mouth. And again, what I was saying before, so you can do just tiny little markers. I'm going to divide it into those roughly 3 equal spacings, and that gives me, that's the top of the forehead, that's the eyebrow line, so there's going to be eyebrow there, and eyebrow down to the other side. This is the bottom of the nose, which again, that's on that curve. And the other thing that's good when you measure and doing things, looking out for just different measurements. So the nose, when I was just coming to the nose there, and I can see instantly it's too long, so it's going to come up. But there's just a tiny gap. There's quite a small distance from the edge of the nose to the cheek. So when I'm drawing that, just going to make sure there is that smaller gap, which means that this side of the face will come in a little bit as well. There's the back nostril, so I'm coming in the sides of the nose, just trying to follow this line of the nostril down. Which always looks really crazy when it's just an outline drawing, but once you come on with all the shading, it makes sense. So in here, there's a bit shading. There's the shading.
really big, so let's make it smaller, more delicate. She has got a delicate nose, not this big one that I've put in. So just positioning the eyes, and again there is always quite a large gap in there, which even if I put that shade in them, you can see where the eye starts to come in. The other thing with the eyes, so wherever your eyes are looking, you have to do that on both of the eyes. It's kind of bigger. So the iris and the pupil are looking over to that direction. So and again, because we've got it over down there, we need the same on the other side. So then now she's looking the same way. And wherever you've got the pupils, you have to have the iris and the pupils in exactly the same position with exactly the same gap of the whites of the eyes. So you've got it looking in the same direction. And again, don't be afraid to keep moving things, adjusting things. This is just the warm up, and you can tell my nose has gone crazy, but it doesn't matter. This is the other thing. So the shape of the face, so as I said before, it dips in for the eye, comes up for the eyebrow, and then comes up for the forehead. You have to be really careful to be really subtle with the shape of the face. If you go too angular, it can look like a masculine face. Likewise, if you go too soft, if you're drawing a man, you do too soft curves, it can look really feminine. So it's really subtle, the lines going around the edge. And today, so we're just doing a portrait today. I'm not worried about an exact likeness. If you did want an exact likeness, you have to measure and plot. So you measure and plot the exact distance, so exact distance of the eye, the exact distance of the nose, and the next eye. Plot them down, and then you're going to get everything exactly where it needs to be. Let's put a little bit of light shading in. This is handy as well, because this will help to tell me how dark I can go. This is like a tonal study, and it will help me to know how dark I can go on my paints when we come to paint it. It's really dark on this side of the face. We've got the ear, that again following that line, because the ears line up with the eyes, so that this ear is going to line up. So that's shaded, but then this goes really dark. You can't really see the hair, but I know it's dark, so I am just putting in really dark lines. just having fun with lots of shading. And then I do love these bits of hair that come around. There we go. It's not a very good likeness, but that's a good just warm up image to get us going. So now I've had a go at the proportions of the face, roughly positioning things, and I can see straight away where I've gone wrong, and this is great because I know my nose is a bit too big, especially the chunky pencil. When it goes big, it's hard to get the exact, but I know it's going to follow that line. Likewise with the eye should be coming over a little bit, it's too far. So it's always good to assess your drawings at the end, see where you've gone wrong and where you can change it. And again, because I'm flat, I know things are looking a bit stranger, so I'm going to bring it up. Yeah, and I can still see that eye is in the wrong place. It needs to go slightly higher and a little bit in. Yeah, so now I've done a warm up, I'm going to come and do it onto my watercolour paper next. So I've got my warm up at the side here. I've got that trace that I did over, and it was funny, I was just looking at it, and this is this hopefully might help you. It's good. I was just looking at this thinking this area is really wide, especially compared to here, so you can see it's too wide. This area, the face needs to come in a lot more, and you can see the difference that makes when you bring in that face in, that distance in. And you can see it on here with my trace, it is quite a short distance from the edge of the nose to the edge of the face as well. So it is always good to assess your drawing, see where you've gone wrong and how you can change it. So I'm just going to put that up there to help guide me. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my time now and start to plot it on here, but using exactly the same method that I just did in my sketchbook. Again, I'm not going for an exact likeness, I'm just going for a portrait, so I'm not too concerned about it being exact, getting exact shape eyes, exact shape face. I just want a nice portrait basically. And I've got my my German paper that I can't pronounce, and I've switched now to my Derwent sketching pencil, and again just starting off like I have been doing, putting my hand right on the edge of the pencil to get that nice oval coming in. And this is quite good because it's given me space as well. I always sometimes my paintings go too close to the edge, but you want to allow your painting some space to breathe. And I'm not sure if this is even showing up, which is a good sign because it shows you how light is when you're drawing, how light to keep your pencil lines. If you go too heavy too soon, it's tricky to get them out. So I've got my oval in, just go for that general oval of the face. Oh. And then I'm going to do the side of the face. Last time I did it too far out, so I'm going to go a bit closer this time. And then I'm just going to mark out, so I'm going to put the top of the head and mark out those 3 equal spaces. So I've got the bottom chin there, bottom of the nose there, eyebrow line there, and the top of the head. And again, just do a little check. This one is slightly off, so I'm just doing it with my fingers, but you can measure it, put pencil your finger as a marker, and then roughly in place. So that just helps to guide me that I know I'm going to have an eyebrow here, eyebrow there, the nose. I'm going to give her a nice dainty nose this time. Nice dainty nose coming in, and then the mouth. And then the mouth, and then the chin. Okay, so now I've got a few pointers in there. I'm going to start drawing it, but I'm going to take my time. I'm just going to have a look.
So I think I'm finished with the drawing. I'm pleased with that. It is she looks like a beautiful lady, I think. It's not an exact likeness, but I'm not too worried. But I don't know if you noticed, so I did switch to my mechanical pencil at the end with the for the eyes, and mainly because I don't really sharpen this that much, because I like to keep it nice and soft, so it's not super sharp, so it won't be hard. So this is my one for fine details, just so I could get the position of the eyes. And I'm just going to tweak that bit as well, that's a bit long. And then the other thing I was using, I love these, the Mono Zero Tombow rubber. I've got
Sorry, my video cut out at the end there. But all I was saying is it's quite nice to have a really skinny rubber to just erase all the really fine lines. Rubbing too much on your watercolour paper can disturb the surface of it, and it can't, sometimes it's not that great to paint on. So if you're going to be rubbing out loads, like I said before, do it in your sketchbook first. Always do it on a separate piece of paper and then transfer it onto your watercolour paper. But those skinny rubbers are brilliant just for getting out those smaller lines that might be in the way. And sometimes it's nice to keep the lines on the paper anyway, but it's completely up to you. So I'm going to finish there, I'll give it a go, see how you get on, and I'm going to do another video where I paint it, hopefully, if it doesn't cut out on me. Okay, good luck, bye!